Hello, random stranger. How you been? Today is a real treat because we're gonna have three K-On OVAs in a row, and kind of feel like we all earned it, especially after last time's brutal reckoning with the end and having to sit through that song, that beautiful song written for Azusa. And unsurprisingly, there were a lot of comments on just how perfect that song was as a wrap up to the season, and we'll get into some of those later. But almost after 2 weeks of watching those last two episodes, has it been 2 weeks? Yeah, it's been 2 weeks. I feel really good knowing that we still have quite a bit of K-On content to go. There's like the movie, and then there's the soundtrack, and then the live concert. And after all that's done, I'm planning to rewatch K-On again from the start. And I feel like not only do I get to restart the journey, but also start a new journey by being able to watch it from a very different perspective and knowing that every rewatch will always reveal new things that I never noticed before. Okay, so let's start with episode 23. The vibe of episode 23, I think, was encapsulated by Mio saying, I feel like I should be doing something else. That feeling of limbo, just waiting for a thing to come to an end, but still having to fill that time gap with something. Just wondering if there's anything left you should get done so that when the end does come, you don't have any regrets. And that's why everything that happens in that episode, from the loitering around to the cleaning and the setting a new record for drinking tea and the cleaning out their desks, even though individually all those things seem mundane, placed in the context of the years that they've spent together and all of the memories that they've made, each of those mundane activities takes on a real significance. So the tea is in their club's name, it's their symbol, and other than the music that they make and the natural chemistry that they had, it was the thing that united the girls in the first place and has really become their trademark. You see Mio cleaning the whiteboard that they always doodle on and that changes from episode to episode. Yui is cleaning the green frog that she placed outside the music club room to welcome slash scare off potential new club members. And Mugi is cleaning the window that they all crowded around, I think, when they were talking about the weather. And Azusa just comments that it's nice being with them. And of course, there's all the class nodes, there's Mio feeding Tonchan, and then the club treasury fortune. Each of those things is so everyday and so extraordinary at the same time. And it was beautiful how they just all wove those things together without needing to explicitly explain why those simple things mean so much and why they're the things that the girls ended up doing so that they can move on with no regrets. I also love how the episode kept revisiting the concept of time and how it passes differently depending on who you spend it with and how you spend it with them. In my favorite scene of episode 23, there's a pretty deep discussion about time when all four girls are sitting around the table, not really doing much. And Ritsu just casually mentions, well, our time here was long, but it felt really short. Then Mio replies, don't you mean short, but it felt long? And Ritsu says, yeah, I guess that works too. I think what Ritsu and Mio are philosophizing about is how time can pass so quickly when you're having fun with your friends, but also that it can feel like the good times will never end, especially if, like, the HTT club, you get to know your friends so well that you become like a really tight family unit and you do everything together, including the most, as we said, mundane of things. And so time can feel like it both passes so quickly and so slowly at the same time. The reason why that scene works so well is because while this, paradoxical philosophizing is going on, the camera is focused on Yui trying to chipmunk eat her way through a Pocky, I think it was a Pocky chocolate stick. And the tiny but meaningful conversation comes to an end when Mugi also grabs a stick and joins Yui in the bite the stick as many times as you can in 10 seconds challenge. I love when K-On does that, when they pair together deep reflective themes with something that's so silly and slice of lifey. It's like in the same style as the graduation ceremony in the next episode, when the principal is making his grand speech about the memories and friends the students have made. But the focus is instead on everyone freaking out over Yui hiding the card underneath her blouse. It's also a sentiment that's repeated by Ritsu when asked, "What's the meaning of HTT?" And her answer is frittering our lives away, I guess. Like, if you want to think about it in a meta way, it's basically the whole approach underpinning K-On! How it feels like most of what we're watching is a bunch of girls have tea and get up to all sorts of fluffy shenanigans, but in the background are these super deep relationships being built and these lessons being played out about life itself, urging the audience to seize the day and to make the most of the time that's been given to you. Other nice nods to the girls, and by extension the show's philosophy of life, is when Yui creates the light music club Snakes and Ladders game. There are no rules. It starts out with no specific actions in those action bubbles, and importantly, there's not really an end goal, which absolutely kills Ritsu. But that's a pretty concise summary of how they've all approached their time at school and in HTT. It's been much more about enjoying the journey rather than getting somewhere specific. And Yui also draws the game on a club activity report, which was, no, not report, a request form, I think it was, which was a nice reference to all the spare forms that are just lying around because Ritsu couldn't be bothered handing them in. Speaking of forms, another thing I loved about this episode were the times that we got to focus on some other key characters, namely Norika just thinking and smiling to herself in that empty student council room, and then Sawako later too, who stands outside the music club room looking at the recording in progress sign that's hung around the frog's neck with this small smile on her face. I really think of those two as the guardian angels of the HTT club. Norika with her countless times saving the club with their non-existent forms and pulling strings to get them through the bureaucracy, even earning Ritsu's respect along the way. And Sawako too, who I feel like I really haven't praised enough throughout the series. I know she gets her due in the next episode, which we'll get to, but the smile on her face said it all here. Like how proud she is of those girls for having an entire catalogue of original songs to record and making their own mark on the world, just as, Death Devil did. These are her girls, and she's provided so much support to them just out of the goodness of her heart, really. The last thing about this episode, of course, is the recording of the cassette tape, and in another nod to that paradox of time where it passes so slowly and yet so quickly too, the last bell of their very last period rings, and the camera moves from girl to girl in this close-up of each of their faces, and you can just see them taking in the fact that that's the last time that they'll ever get to experience that. And so the last HTT club meeting commences, and Yui just kind of falls into a panic and kind of repeats what Mio said earlier, like, shouldn't we do something? Like, this is the last one. Shouldn't we do something significant to mark the moment so that we won't have any regrets later? And it was so cute when Mugi comforts Yui, and then they just end up deciding to record their songs. The look on Azusa's face when she walks in on the sound of music instruments being tuned was just so precious. Like, she can't believe that her senpais are actually starting to practice without her having to cajole them into it. And of course, we get a lot of cute moments too when they have to actually sit down and figure out their set list. But as always, mixed in with those little moments are also some profound reflections on the main themes of K-On! For example, when Azusa suggests starting the recording with an instrumental and then all the girls get excited about that idea, the ever sensible Ritsu, just gently cuts in and says, well, that sounds great, but it doesn't have to be that elaborate, right? And then Azusa realizes, oh yeah, we don't really have enough time to do so much, which killed me because it highlighted how the girls will never have enough time to do everything that they want together. That's just the nature of time and of being human. And so when you do find a good thing, you got to appreciate the hell out of it because it'll never last as long as you want it to. There were other key things too, like Mugi with the tape recorder wanting to record all of their unrelated banter, and Mad Azunyan being super embarrassed over hearing her own voice. So the recording everything, even the chit chat that's not part of the songs, is so on brand for the girls and for the show as well. Like at several points throughout watching this show, people have commented on how they really wouldn't mind just watching these girls go about their everyday lives, doing the most seemingly normal things, but because of who they are and who we've come to know them to be, anything that they do becomes interesting. And I'm looking forward to hearing the cassette tape that they recorded. A few of you pointed out that it's actually available on YouTube, so I'm definitely going to check it out. And I love that that's the thing that they chose to leave behind of themselves. Like, what better way to show who you are than through your music? The music that has come from their souls and which they play with their souls, and you can just hear the chemistry in their performances. I only hope that they left Mugi's sneeze in that recording, not just because it's cute, but also because it's reflective of who they are. Like in trying to get the perfect recording, they just kept on getting interrupted. Which is fine because, sometimes those detours and those interruptions become part of the journey, and you can learn to embrace those as well. All right, episode 24. Episode 24 starts with the full circle of Yui being late. Except this time, because the other girls are also waiting for her, they also all turn up late. And as Jun says, that's just classic light music club at this point, just always living on the edge. And there's so much I could talk about this episode, but I'm gonna start with a scene that for me went straight for the emotional jugular, and it was that dream-like sequence when the juniors are pinning the corsages on the seniors, and Azusa is standing off to the side just watching Yui, Ritsumio and Mugi together, fixing each other's collars and laughing and getting ready for graduation. Poetically, they play the same song from a few episodes back when Yui is pulling Azusa along and the fireworks are going off up above, and Azusa is just questioning whether this is all a dream, like whether this time that she's had with those girls has been a dream, including all of the amazing things that they've done together. So in episode 24, when they blurred the images a bit and they had that music going, and you see Azusa just staring at them, almost like they're a vision or a hallucination, you really sense both the appreciation of the dream-like memories that they've made together, but also the separation between Azusa and the four older girls. Actually, the entire episode from the start is a big setup for the last emotional scene, but this dreamy sequence in particular definitely ramped up that anxiety over how Azusa will handle the actual graduation. And I want to bring in a comment from SNWH who made a really good point about the structure of these last few episodes. To the right, I've always sort of thought K-On has two separate endings. Episode 20 feels like the end of the story of K-On as a band, or perhaps as a narrative, whereas episode 24 always felt to me as the emotional climax and emotional conclusion of K-On. And I agree 100%. Like the last school live performance felt like the conclusion to their journey as a band, like starting out being seen as the freaks at school who chase you in animal suits and just generally struggling to find their vibe as a band, to being at the end loved by all of their classmates and coming into their own musically and having an entire catalogue of original songs after so much hard work and so much tea. Whereas episode 24 concludes the much more personal aspect of the girls' relationships with each other, with Azusa finally being able to be honest about how sad she is that she'll be left behind, and the other girls reassuring her and us that graduation isn't the end. And the way it feels after those two respective ends is very different too. Like after episode 20, it is a little bit sad, but it's also combined with that huge drop after a massive adrenaline rush has passed. Whereas in episode 24, that's like the true feelings tsunami. Rather than dealing with the end of live performances as a band, it's dealing with saying goodbye to the people in those bands in that band, whom you've not only played with for so long, but with whom you've become a real family. So then we have the actual ceremony, which doesn't actually turn out to be that important in this episode, which I love. Like we already talked about how in K-On, the important things happen in places you wouldn't expect them to happen. And so the focus of the graduation ceremony wasn't the emotional weight of graduation, but Sawako freaking out over whether Yui is hiding Tonjan under her blouse and everyone else freaking out over how Sawako is freaking out. So I guess now is a good time to pay tribute to Sawako because her worrying about Yui was actually really cute and shows how much she has come to care for these girls. And later, when she's bidding her first graduating class farewell, it was surprisingly touching how much love was reciprocated between her and her class. Normally, Sawako's role is to inject some kind of bizarre energy into the scene, whether it's striking fear into the hearts of the HTT girls by forcing them to wear her outrageous handmade outfits, or bringing her death devil fierceness to shake them up a bit. But there's also been so many moments of her going above and beyond what a teacher really should be expected to, like driving them everywhere and taking them to that rock festival, making sure they have what they need to rehearse and staying up late to make costumes and also to make their official HTT club shirts. She's just such a force. And later, when Sawako's standing in the empty classroom and just looking back and seeing all the messages of love that's drawn on the blackboard and doesn't want to erase them, I was just so happy for her because she deserves all that love and she wasn't forgotten by anyone, least of all the show. And then later, when Sawako's just outside of the music room listening to the girls sing to Azusa, I love that look on her face, almost like she's reminiscing on how it was like for her in her youth with her own band and how hard it must have been for them to go their separate ways. And also, she also went through all that trauma of chasing after that boy who ended up not appreciating her. And so I do love that they give Sawako that moment too. Props to Sawako as well for letting the girls just have that moment to themselves, waiting patiently outside to let them finish their song before going in. And basically, I just love Sawako so much. Before we get to the song, and that's just what I'm going to call it from now on, the song, we get this touching little conversation between Ui and Azusa, who is still not quite with it at that point. And when Ui starts talking about how the family is going to celebrate Yui's graduation later, Azusa just kind of snaps out of it. And you see that she's just come face to face with the dilemma she's been having and struggling with this whole time, that she knows and is happy that the other girls are graduating because it means that they're moving on to this new exciting phase of their lives. But also it's so real, the hurt and the pain of being left behind. Like Ui said, Yui has always been one step ahead and always just leaving her behind. which has been true for Azusa with the rest of the girls in the band since she joined, really. Which leads us to the final sequence of events before the song. Azusa walks into the club room and appears to be perfectly normal, and the other girls start asking her about the future of the club, and Azusa just cuts them off immediately, says it's fine, you know, starts handing out her thank you notes and just talks and talks and talks and talks, which is highly unusual for her. And I think she does it because she knows that if she stops talking and lets the sadness sink in, her vow to be happy for the girls will crumble and she just won't be able to hold it in. I love, however, how the other girls are just staring at her as she talks and just feeling her pain and knowing that she's barely holding it together, but just waiting for her to get to that breaking down point on her own. Which finally happens when Azusa sees those graduation diplomas, and that's when the waterworks are let loose, like both for Azusa and also for the audience as well. First thing to note when the waterworks start is I was very impressed with how Yui handled Azusa and is so gentle in comforting her. She like puts a new bandaid on Azusa and gives Azusa the very first photo they took at the first HTT Club meeting, gives her that 5-petaled flower, and it's just a stark contrast to how she normally charges over to Azusa and pounces on her and completely invades her personal space. And actually, Zalova Id made a great point about this, that they think it's good that Yui doesn't rush over to hug Azusa because it avoids focusing too much on Yui instead of all the HTT members, which I agree with. Obviously, because this is such a delicate situation and Azusa's clearly distraught, it's nice that that Yui and the others choose the best way to make her feel better. Like, I love how they fought over who gets to cheer her up, which then makes her laugh, and then they announce the song and just spoil her, basically. I also have to read what Youngblood wrote about this moment because I thought it was so nicely put. My favorite detail of the last episode is that Azunyan is hiding her bruise as well as her true feelings, and when she exposes herself crying, the bruise gets revealed. And then comes Yui with comforting words and puts another bandage over the bruise. A Yui-like bandage on the forehead and a Hokago tea time-like bandage on her heart. That's, yes, very poetic and very accurate. All right, okay, the song. I watched the episode again. I cried again when Azusa begs them to not graduate. And then I realized as I started the song that there's no way I can ever analyze this song separately from all of the emotional baggage that it will forever carry, which isn't a bad thing at all. Like, I mean, I could say musically it is a lot simpler than other K-On songs, but that's definitely by design. You can't have a song that's meant to drive home such a powerful message and have it be too intricate. It needs those simple, repetitive melodic lines and chord progressions to let the emotion breathe, if that makes sense. And I think, and it may be because I am a huge Mugi stan, but I do genuinely love Minako Kotobuki's voice, maybe even the most. It was so sweet and it made me want even more to now get to the soundtrack so I just don't have to settle for like 2 lines of solo Mugi stuff. Also, I'm glad, just like judging from all the comments, that I'm far from being the only one who gets wrecked by this song. Helena Anjos talked about how there are so many moments in anime that have made me cry, but I think this is the only one that doesn't involve death in some type of way that just makes me cry every single time. I think it's just a very human experience to have a comfort net and have to face the fact that you're leaving it. And then they shared about like personal experience of theirs, like in the context of the soccer team that they've played with for so many years. Video Runaway 2 wrote about how they first watched K-On at a point in their life where they were very anxious about change, and that for them, the song means that even though people or things may fade out of your day-to-day life, that doesn't take anything away from the memories you made with them, which is something so valuable to take away from this show. That is supposedly just about a bunch of girls, drinking tea and having cake. Hannah A had a personal take on it too. So hearing that song again, it just hits me harder this time because I actually just graduated from college less than a month ago, and this song made me miss my friends much more. The friends that I didn't know I was going to see in person for the last time before the pandemic started. I mean, one, congratulations for graduating college, and I really hope that you get to see your friends soon once this craziness all settles down. And also, two, I mean, I love that you all have such varied personal experiences of this song, and I wish time permitted me to go through everyone's thoughts on it, because I appreciate that despite how different our experiences are, they all go back to this shared universal struggle of how do you say goodbye to something or someone that's given you so much joy. And while the song itself conveys that sadness, it also has a very hopeful message that some things like friendship and the memories of good times can and do last forever. Visually, I love how they showed the girls looking at each other and looking at Azusa as they sing, showing us Azusa's increasingly emotional state as each girl sings for her. And in terms of Azusa's role in K-On, I gotta agree with Putra and Wisnu when they wrote that at first we didn't know what's the importance of Azusa's existence, and I'm talking about the first season. But once we get to season 2, especially episode 20, I guess, we start to realize the importance of Azusa. In the end, she became the emotional core for this whole show. Yeah, for me, Azusa was a relative blank for a while, and not only because she was introduced later, but also we didn't really get to see her interact individually with the other girls other than Yui for a while. But her character really rounded itself out in the latter half of this season, and it surprised me how quickly she became the conduit for the audience's feelings. Like, the sadness Azusa feels is our sadness, and her struggle to be happy she even had this time with the HTT club is our struggle as well. As for the lyrics to Azusa's song, I looked them up and there are so many references to the girls' memories together. Like things like the doodles on the whiteboard, the matching keychains, the cherry blossoms, and I think there's also a line in there referring to the path by the riverside, which reminded me of the Yuiazu episode when they're rehearsing next to a river and just trying to figure out their act for the talent show. And so I have to agree with Anon 21486 when they say that they see K-On as one of the few series who have pulled off the perfect ending. And to me, it was definitely a miracle of a season ending with that song. To sum up, in that one song, you have the entire emotional punch that all of season 2 has been building towards over 24 episodes. You have Azusa's grief on full display. You have, for the first time ever, all 4 of the girls singing together to the baby. And then you have in the lyrics reminders of all of the good times that they've had, and this sentiment that's been repeated in many forms throughout the show, which is that graduation isn't the end and that this dream can keep going on forever as long as you want it to. And of course, the full circle again, right? With that one line from Azusa, you guys aren't very good, are you? Repeating what Yui said about the other 3 when she was deciding whether or not to join, and re-emphasizing that while the music is important, it pales in comparison to the bonds that these girls have formed with each other. And so man, like, there's no wonder why there is no one, and I mean no one who has a beating heart who watches episode 24 that comes away unscathed. Okay, which brings us to the first of the K-On season 2 OVAs, episode 25. And I didn't actually go back to revise where these episodes fall chronologically. I believe, though, they do take place before the actual graduation in episode 24. But in any case, I'm just glad that we have more K-On to watch. So if you guys are ready to relax and do this, let's play in 3, 2, 1, go. Why is the quality so bad? Oh, it's this is like a recruitment video. Oh no. Why? But also I do get why. And yes, we still get the same OP. I wonder if they changed it though. No, it looks like the same. Oh my goodness. Mia in the nurse uniform holding the needle. It's a total service to the fans. Not that I'm complaining, but I'm so sorry, Mia, that you had to go through that. Yeah, I know. I'm very happy that we get to listen to this 3 more times. You know, the fact that Mio even agreed to shoot that segment is testament to how much she loves the club and these girls. I love how crazy the guitar rips on the da 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 da. Here. Yeah. Oh, it's so good seeing them again. Nice. Oh, she's still got her short fringe. Okay. The incriminating evidence. Just something you never want your kids to see. God, this music. I love the direction this is going in. Of course, it was Sawako's idea. Not that the others are really helping with Mio's trauma. Oh, look at Mio. Someone just relying on Ritsu to protect her. Oh. Oh, this was way before when she was still learning. Oh man, the memories. Can't really blame her though. Oh, is this the OP? Like, it is like the shots from the OP. Moogie. I love that tone she takes with her voice. That old man voice. Oh, nice. We get different versions of this. Oh my god. K-On, bro. Just reuse the Death Devil ones. The Americas. Back to the animal themes. I love how they're just going through each of their versions and just showcases their unique characters. Eh? Tonchan is a boy though, right? My mind is just being, I don't know, I feel like my brain is in a spin right now. A sleazy infomercial. Oh my god, the maracas. What, like casual murder? My gosh, this episode is just speed running. Corruptible. What? Oh, I mean, nice Azusa. Is that bad? I mean, no, they study like what was it? Cow, how to separate a cow. I don't know what Azusa would want. She'll do the professional thing on it. She's like, if I don't come up with something, we're gonna go one of those other four routes and it's gonna be a disaster. Yeah. Again, this is just Azusa carrying the sanity of the entire club on her back. Hey, Jun. Actually, I thought Jun was actually pretty on point there. Look at that brain working hard. Although, I mean, without Moogie, where is all that amazing tea and cake gonna come from? Unless it's like a lifetime supply, you know? Mm, grass is green on the other side. Oh my gosh. I love these flashbacks. It's just the sound of the audience screaming in adoration. Ooh. Mm. That way I can graduate with my brain, my mind still intact. I swear, Mookie is so open-minded. It's great. Oh, wasn't that was Jun and Uwe, right? Oh, I love that we get their reactions to their own performance. Ah, poor Mio. Oh, nice. I love that those two are helping as well. They are the next HGT club, so it's appropriate. This is so weird. It's actually a love square. Azusa, Tonchan, Yui, and Guitar. It's just that classic thing where once you know the camera's on you, you just cannot act natural at all. I feel like that was closer to what the light music club is. Just Yui's ramblings. That is her normal. Oh, she just needs to express her joy. Oh, okay, or she was choking. Oh, nice. They should do that though. Ah, Sawako, man. Above and beyond. Kate. Oh, look at Sawako. Okay, there we go. Ichigo. I mean, that is like rousing endorsement right there. Hey, that was the girl that was like, "Oh, you guys are so funny." Uh Oh, wasn't that a line in the Gohan song? Okay, Uri of course smashes it out of the park. Nautica, man, with the salt. Oh my god. Ritsu doing the con man thing. That was such a bad angle. Oh, yeah, the Mio fan club, of course. Oh, Oba-chan. Just who are those little kids? Okay, I mean, it's a decent promo. Mio's like, well, at least it wasn't me. Oh, come on, take one for the team. Mia is so like. She is such Mio's child in those moments. Man, that episode just like literally just went pshong. Just all these crazy ideas from all the girls. Yeah, it was just a romp. I loved it. I was hoping to get a bit more of their reactions to their last school live. Sorry, I'm just enjoying how good this song is. Okay, guys, ready for episode 26 or the second OVA, and I just have a feeling that all of these are gonna be just wacky, really quick episodes. Just again emphasizing that the HTT Club is just pure chaos in the best possible way. So if you guys are good, let's do this in 3, 2, 1, play. What are they doing? I mean, oh my gosh, this is way back when they just caught Azusa. Also, I find it not weird at all that Ritsu and Mio are just like stuck in the cupboard together. Oh my gosh. Oh, it's the photo. Why would they do this to Azusa though when she just joined? I thought they were trying not to freak her out. Oh, the intimidating. You're part of this family now. Oh my god. Oh, it was Azusa's memory or flashback to the beginning. So, this is like still when Azusa is trying to get used to, or yeah, trying to feel happy about their graduation, but can't yet. Whoa, that just went from like crazy happy memories just crashing down to just absolute sadness. Also, I mean, whose idea was it to do the family portrait thing as a welcome to the new member? Me personally, I would be out that door in an instant. And especially after I saw that baby, I would be like, uh, no, no, thank you. Again, like full credit to Azusa for sticking it with these four because I mean, I don't know, either she was like, oh my gosh, okay, I really love music, and so I'm just gonna stick it out. And then she learned to love the girls and all their wacky, crazy ways, or she was already, deep down that kind of person anyway, and so she felt right at home. I don't know. Hey. Oh, those photos that they practice so much for. The ones that'll last forever. Who does choose them? Oh, that slap sound. Nautica just doesn't shy away from like, she just pulls that knife out. Just all business, man. I love how she's waving around the orange. Oh my gosh. Yui grandma. She's not dead. Wait. The water faucet. Oh, I love those two. Just, it's amazing how quickly Moogie just switches on to the game that's afoot. Now she just flew in from the side. That's how you know she really cares. Oh, okay, more pleb research. Oh, she's like, don't go. Girl. She just wants to know if they're gonna come back. But she doesn't want to be all too clingy because it's so sad. Cute. Grunge castle. Skulls everywhere. Mio-san. What's that? Oh. Mickey's like, oh, now we really have to go. She's so good at just dragging Ritsu behind back by her scarf. It's very practiced, obviously. Moogie's face. Just... oh my god. She probably just needs a day, you know, off school. Just away from these crazies. Mio has been slapping Ritsu all this episode. She's like, I didn't ask for these kids. Even in Sawako's house, it's Mugi who makes the tea. It's a very neat apartment. Oh, nice speaker set. God. Just invading privacy. What? She looks exactly the same. Literally just put her in a school uniform. Man, just clocking in those hours even though she's sick. And she's got a cactus too. Okay. But you can't really fix that, can you? Oh, there's a photo of a cactus taped up in the corner of the room as well. That's Ritsu's hand, isn't it? Oh, oh, they're not supposed to have hands showing. She's so scary. And only with Ritsu too. I love these two. Oh my god, it's the idiot sandwich. Oh my gosh, she's got like her Ritsu whip out. Damn, girl. Oh, but why? They're so close to her. She doesn't want Yui like setting her kitchen on fire. Actually, Ritsu's also pretty good too. Oh god, what luck. It's got these interesting posters on the wall. Oh, she's just waiting for them at the school. Wait, what are they doing? Oh, look at those best girls. Just like taking care of the housework. Okay, and thank God Ritsu is helping Yui. Oh, okay, alright. So those DVD covers were all in the OVAs. I see. So it was Sawako who was like directing them. Oh, you can still see Mio's leg. Oh, I love that this is such a Sawako focused episode. Oh man. I guess we've gone through Azusa's traumatic experience of having to say goodbye, but this is sort of like Sawako's goodbye to them too. The old band. Oh man. Oh, it's so great because it shows that, even years later, they can still keep their bonds as a band. And then they're going back to their baby. He's waiting for them at school. Oh, this is why they were asking Azusa about the future of the club and sort of apologizing for not really thinking it through. Yeah, that's what Yui would want to do. Oh, look at her little legs just going. Oh. Just like, you didn't see me, you didn't see me. Oh, so they were having their first rehearsal and it's full time, of course. I guess first rehearsal that they're gonna do when they welcome new club members the next year. I feel like we just witnessed like the handing over of the baton. Well, okay, this rhythm is weird. This tempo. Look how McGee runs. Oh man. I love this run through the school grounds. Oh, whoa, it's the. Yeah, this is the scene in the OP where they jump up into the air. Wasn't it the first OP? God, I don't remember. So cute. Oh, wait, was it? Okay, I'm confused now. It definitely wasn't the second OP, right? No, it is this season's OP. Sorry, guys. I just feel like there was a scene in the very first OP that we got in season one where they're jumping in the air, but then Azusa's not there, so. Okay, so watching these OVAs and then just sort of slotting them into the chronological order that they happened in really helps fill in some of the gaps that happened in between the end of episode 20, which was the live performance, and then 24, which is, of course, the actual graduation. Man, I love that again. Like, we got a little bit of it in episode 24 where they focus on Sawako's feelings about all these girls graduating, but here, whereas in episode 24 it was Sawako and the whole class, here in this OVA it was Sawako and these four girls specifically, the ones that she's been, looking after for 3 years. That was nice. And I love the appearance of the Death Devil old band members. Yeah, that was cool. Okay, guys, so the third and last OVA of season 2. And I have no idea what we're going to get in this one. But if you guys are ready to play through this, let's do it in 3, 2, 1, go. Ugh. Is it summer? Oh, is this where they planned for the London trip, which is then the movie? Oh man. I love just the progression of these episodes and how there's just always a continuation of the story. Oh my god, this is the last time for this OP. Always love that bass line. It's always Mia who's last. McGee's surprised look. Something about going overseas. Oh, so this must have been when they're all studying for their summer courses or something. Azusa always goes for the banana flavors. She'll always be a baby to them. Also, Emil looks fantastic in that updo. Overseas expansion. Like world domination. Oh, yeah, it would have felt wrong if they didn't get Azusa to go as well. Oh, I'm so curious to see how they choose London. She's so responsible. Mm-hmm. It's like that mochi all over again. What is that with that dreamy tone of hers? America! Oh. What is that a pun in Japanese for cheesecake? She's gotta take her guitar. Love to go to Liverpool. I love the reference to the Beatles. That's very Ritzy. She's been everywhere. Oh, see. Oh my gosh. Like she's not been to an overseas trip with these girls, her best friends. Yui would totally kill that. Interesting. So they went with Mia's choice. A rare interaction between Azusa and Nodoka. Huh. Oh, local. Oh, cultured. So Nautica's into like all the historical ancient ruins. I love how they're just all hanging around in the bookstore. Like that she has a little globe on her desk. Well, I guess they kind of did get lost in Kyoto. Oh, it's at a library. That's nice. Self-defense. Oh. Oh, they're taking it so seriously too. Pervert Moogie just coming out in full force. That moment. Oh, that's so good. Especially given the dynamic between Azusa and Moogie. Hmm. Oh, nice. Survival skills, man. That's the first survival sentence you need. Mm. Yeah, it's actually pretty good. Ah, so cute. Why did that sound Aussie? Water, please. It's actually pretty good. It's like a rain dance. This is so weird watching them prepare for a trip overseas and like trying to get their English phrases up. It's it's actually really adorable when Japanese speak English, like, and I mean all the Japanese people that I've met, they've definitely spoken a lot better English than I speak Japanese, so I love how much effort they're putting into this trip when they're supposed to be studying. Oh, oh God, Yui. They look fine. That's what a teacher has to say. I wonder with her band members, maybe. Oh, ah, oh, I saw Sawako as well. Oh my gosh, that's the passport photo. Sorry, I just get so excited whenever one of the girls changes their hairstyle. It's ridiculous. Oh man, I remember these immigration officers. They all tend to look like that, eh? As stuffy as possible. Oh, what a good little bro. Hey. Oh, and he came on his little bike too. I love that. Yeah, I love that that's a detail that Neil mentions to the eyes. Hmm. Like a set of knives. What? That's not true. Oh, by the way, I love how Maggie's wearing her hair. Mm-hmm. Just like, stop talking. Yeah. Why, Yui? She doesn't even have to see. She just feels Ritsu causing trouble. There's a disturbance in the air. I love that Yui is having two scoops as opposed to everyone else's one. Oh. Mm. There's that message again, like the show just keeps, well, their story keeps going on and on and on. Even though we'll never probably get those movies or whatever, but. Oh, instant rice packs. That's right. Hey, we actually get an English after school tea time. That's true. Ubi is so supportive. How did they actually choose London again? Was it just random? Like, because they are planning to go to all of those different places, and so it doesn't really matter where they go first? That was great. I'm really looking forward to the movie where we get to hopefully hear them speak more English. Mia has such power songs. Hey, all right. I mean, so that was the last time we ever get to hear that ED in the context of an episode. Um, Man, that was a blast. Those three OVAs. Okay, let's just do a quick sum up, and then I gotta head off. Hey guys, thank you so much for watching these OVAs with me. I had a blast, and it was just more K-On goodness packed into an extra hour and a half. My favorite parts for each episode. So, episode 25 with the shooting of the recruitment video and all of the interview pieces with the classmates. I don't know why, but the one that sticks out in my head is Nautica's quip about how it would be so much better if the HTT club actually handed their forms in on time. I That was a definite highlight for me, and I've just always been so impressed with Nautica's just straight shooting delivery of those killer lines, and she's definitely underrated as a source of humor. Really, I just enjoyed seeing Azusa once again having to rein in the insane ideas of her senpais, particularly Mugi's excellent idea of having her play the corpse in like a mystery themed recruitment video where the murderer is actually the light music club. I just love Mugi's mind, and I just think it's the most beautiful thing in the world. Also, probably tied with Mugi for most wacky imagination was when they're trying to record like normal activities of the music club, and then Yui is helping Mio with her algebra and is creating this entire romantic backstory for X and Y. And you could just tell that the writers really had fun with the writing of that episode. Episode 26, as I said, it was just lovely to see how at home the four girls are at Sawako's place, helping her do the laundry and cook while she's sick. And I loved that detail where Sawako kind of lovingly brushes over the photo of the girls in just in a show of appreciation for them, even though they're not shy at all about invading her privacy. That moment, and also seeing Ritsu being totally dominated by Mia, was probably the highlights for me. And last but not least, episode 27, with the planning of their overseas trip and getting their passports. You know, again, just classic K-On in that the drama is in the simplest of things, from learning useful English phrases to looking at brochures of where to go, and then just navigating the bureaucracies of immigration departments. Time just passed so quickly when watching the girls just go about barreling their way through life together. And I'm looking forward to seeing the actual trip to London, which will be amazing, especially if they do end up visiting all of those places of interest on like the classic rock trail. And Yeah, so I'm sorry guys for this being such a short, quick sum up, but as usual, I'm going to be hanging around in the comments and on Discord. And this week, I'm also planning on starting Keep Your Hands Off Izoken and Girls Last Tour, so keep your eyes peeled for those. And until next time, take care of yourselves. It's pretty crazy out there. And yeah, I'll talk to you guys all really soon.